A 60-year-old female Chinese patient who recently visited the Philippines tested positive for the 2019 novel coronavirus. This is the third recorded nCoV case in the Philippines. The health department says the patient came from Wuhan, China via Hong Kong and arrived in Cebu City and traveled to Bohol on January 20. 2 days later, the patient consulted a private hospital in Bohol after experiencing fever and cold. She was confined on January 22nd. A day later, samples were taken from her but were not immediately tested. On the 24th, more samples were taken and were sent to the Australian Reference Laboratory. The result came back January 29 and it was negative. RITM made another run on the same sample. Results came out January 30 and it was also negative. So the patient was discharged and allowed to return to China on January 31. The catch is 3 days after the patient left, experts found that the woman's samples taken on January 23 tested positive for nCoV. But the health department doesn't see a problem with this.
The patient was probably towards the end of the illness at that time, kaya positive pa siya, pero yung the subsequent niya was negative na both at RITM and in Australia. So validated twice yung kanyang negative result.
The health department says it's working on tracing the steps of the 60-year-old infected woman. As of February 5, the total number of patients under investigation is at 133. 115 are admitted and isolated, while 16 have been discharged but under strict monitoring. Most of the PUIs are Filipinos, while 54 are Chinese and 16 are of other nationality.
Kasama sa eroplano, yung mga meron din mga flight attendant, I think flight crew, and then we have health workers.
After some grilling from the senators, the health department has now reached out to 203 contacts of the first two nCoV cases. They found 15 exhibiting symptoms. They are now admitted for monitoring except for one. 188 contacts are under home quarantine. This means they are not showing symptoms but are isolated at their homes and under strict monitoring for 14 days. The health department is calling on passengers of the following flights to cooperate with DOH representatives for assessment. Trisha Tarada, CNN Philippines.